Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another reaction. And I don't normally watch other people's reviews. Very rarely do I do it. Usually when I do it though, it is IGN. I don't know why that is, but this is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 review. Well, I know why this one is the one I'm watching because I keep hearing how bad it was. All right, to be fair, I keep hearing how bad the written one was. Because they gave it a 6 out of 10, I believe, which is not great, obviously. But it's, you know. What I mean, it's still enough to consider it a positive review, but I heard the review itself was actually really bad. So I figured I might as well just. I was gonna actually watch or read the written review, but then this came out right when I was about to record it. I was like, oh, okay, well that's perfect. Let's watch the video review. So let's check this out. A lot of dislikes, which, to be fair, you know. That's IGN. So, I mean, sometimes they'll have like a better ratio, but it's only if they give something that's universally loved a great score. You know what I mean? But even then, you'll always see like a little bit. Hey, what? Get back in there. Anyway, you didn't see that. Anyway, so let's get to it. Let's check this out. Let's go. Do this.
Whatever
Yes.
sum Paramount Pictures paid to coax Jim Carrey.
All right, so it's reviewed by A.A. Dowd, who I swear I've seen so many times. I should say, I did a first reviews reaction video yesterday, which, by the way, the Rotten Tomatoes score finally is up, and it's really good. It's like 85. But I did see A.A. Dowd's review, just a blurb. It was like a 2 cents blurb. And I want to say it was fresh, though, but it was a 3 out of 5. So it wasn't a negative review, but it was a 6 out of 10, whatever.
Adam's supposed retirement, it was worth
Yeah,
every
we
penny.
talk about his retirement.
Because the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie isn't nearly as much of a nattering chore of a family film as the last two.
Oh, damn, bro. He's going for the jugular immediately. A what?
Hedgehog movie isn't nearly as much of a nattering chore
A nattering
of a family
chore.
film as the last two.
I don't know.
The rubber-limbed funny man has been quite upfront about his financial motives for playing Dr. Robotnik. The megalomaniacal mad scientist with the...
Has he? Because I know he came out and said, jokingly, oh, well, I came back for the money, and I thought I'd get double the money because I'm playing double the character, but nope, I don't. Which, I don't know. Have you seen any interview with Jim Carrey? He's always fucking jokey. Have you seen any of the featurettes and stuff for this movie? He's joking around and stuff. Is he trying to say, Jim Carrey... All right, let's see.
Exaggerated paintbrush mustache, the stockpile of deadly electronics, and the hammy grudge against speedy space mammals. But just because this is a paycheck gig for Carrey doesn't mean he phones it in.
Okay.
Quite to the contrary.
He does
The
not.
man behind the mask treats his recurring role as the capering, bloviating nemesis of Sonic the Hedgehog as licensed to mug like he hasn't since the heyday of the Genesis.
He says that and then immediately shows the ending of Sonic 2, where his ass is just mugging the entire time.
Every time...
Dude, Sonic 2 has some great Jim Carrey moments. That part where he gets on the windshield and it's just like... He's like... I don't know how to explain it. Just watch Sonic 2. If you haven't. He has some great moments in there.
When the camera finds Carrey in the Sonic movies, he's doing some tireless shtick. Dancing with dorky aplomb, scrunching his face into an expression no other human has ever thought to make, tossing off Grinchian insult asides to nobody. In Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Carrey has finally found a scene partner who can match his freak. It's
himself.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Is it? It couldn't be. Couldn't it? Are you? In this saggy flesh.
One hook of this latest sequel is that it casts the actor in a dual role, allowing him to play both the returning Robotnik.
I feel like this review is paced extremely slowly. I don't know who's doing the narration, Eric something. It's like, I feel like at this point we're a minute and a half in, we haven't even gotten to the actual review because he's just still talking about how, again, I'm just talking about A.A. Dowd, not the narrator, but just the review itself is just very, Jim Carrey. But he didn't even talk about anything really substantial about Jim Carrey in this movie yet. And I get it, he's about to, but it's a minute and a half in, and it's not a very long review. If it was like a 15-minute review, then sure, but...
And his distant, estranged relative. Watching the comedy legend in these movies...
Alright, sorry, I had to pause real quick. Let me go back.
Estranged relative. Watching the comedy... legend in these movies already felt like witnessing a one-man show crammed into the margins of an expensive all-ages comedy, which is more true than not when half the other characters on screen are digitally generated. But there are stretches in Sonic 3 where it really is just Carrey up there, acting out both sides of a lunatic family reunion.
The guy they paid the most money that is on screen a lot. Okay, yes.
And as it turns out, 2 of him are better than 1.
Okay. We're just getting into the review part. Wait, what? Review Sonic the Hedgehog. Dude, we're almost a third into the review, and the review has officially started. That was all intro? Dude, you could have cut that first 2 minutes into 30 seconds. You didn't need to keep talking about Jim Carrey and blowing him the entire thing. Come on.
Up until now, Carrey's haughty take on the Eggman wasn't just the highlight, but also the saving grace of these video game adaptations. Okay. The first Sonic the Hedgehog was curiously popular. Why? You had to wonder.
No, I didn't have to wonder. What? No, don't throw that shit at anybody. What? I hate that. I hate when people, like, because A.A. Dowd didn't like it. That means, why was it, wait. I just, alright. Like, it was a fun movie. And people like Sonic the Hedgehog, and they were happy to see they didn't screw it up. Is he gonna talk about, he's probably gonna talk about, like, oh, it's just a buddy comedy. That's what I keep hearing. Like, it's not even like the games. It's like a buddy comedy with a human and stuff. Well, it was a decent one. It was a fun one. It's not great or anything. I would never say it was great, but it was a fun movie. It had a lot of heart to it, and it was fun to watch. And considering how shitty family movies could be, you know, I'll take my win where I can get it.
Diehards warmed to a movie that plucked their favorite blue blur out of a 16-bit kingdom of speed and color in favor of a drab buddy comedy with James Marsden.
Drab.
You guys want to watch a movie or what?
Sorry, buddy.
I hate when people let their opinions formulate what other people think. Like, A.A. Dowd obviously does not like the first movie, which I want to say the first one got a good review, but I'm assuming it wasn't A.A. Dowd that gave it a good review. But, like, he's just saying, like, why? People must wonder why people like that movie. I'm like, no, people liked it because they enjoyed it. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's time for you to go back to your cave.
What? It's 3 p.m.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a minor improvement, mostly by virtue of featuring fewer scenes of Sega's resident speed demon planted in the passenger seat of an ambling automobile. But it still leaned heavily on hacky pop culture references and filler subplots for the wholesome human characters. Thankfully,
of course, Sonic. It's like, not that he, like, delivers a lot of hacky pop culture things in there, but it's very fitting for Sonic to do that. I'm sorry.
Third time's the charm for the franchise, which finally hits its stride with a more fleet adventure for Team Sonic.
We are finally talking about Sonic 3. we talk about Jim Carrey is fun in this movie. That's all we've said so far of substance about Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Besides the bug-eyed Robotnik, the people in these movies don't hold much interest. Part 3 further minimizes the screen time of the Hog's adoptive parents. Token townies Tom
they're barely in Sonic 2, right? Well, I guess, no, he had that whole marriage subplot and shit, I guess.
Batty, even as the cast list expands to include cameo-length parts for Kristen Ritter, a Lonely Islander, and Bob from Mad Men.
Jorma Tacone.
With fewer
Wait, hold on. Why did Kristen Ritter get a call out, and then the other two just like some Lonely Island guy and fucking the Bob's Burgers? What the fuck he said?
For Kristen Ritter, a Lonely Islander, and Bob from Mad Men.
Bob from Mad Men. Whatever.
With fewer destination weddings and heart-to-hearts about Tom's career aspirations on the docket, the script by Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington can keep the focus trained on our colorful alien menagerie. Plucky.
We are almost halfway through and we haven't even talked about Shadow yet.
Wisecracking Sonic, brightly adolescent flying fox Tails, and irony immune Echidna Knuckles.
Right.
The plot
All right, here we go. I think he's going to talk about Shadow. There's something about that. Like, I know A.A. Dowd's giving this movie in these movies, I should say, shit for like being a family thing, but doesn't this like review come off very like, I don't know, I don't want to say immature, but it just comes off very like, I don't know, maybe it's the narration. I don't want to shit on anybody here, even though so far this review is bad, but it's a bad review. I haven't even seen Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and I could say it's bad just because he barely talked about the movies so far.
Revolves around the introduction of fan favorite Shadow, who's like an angsty mirror image of Sonic. A brooding anti-hero hedgehog who escapes from years of government containment, electricity in his eyes, and revenge against humanity on his brain.
Yep, that is a story.
This is a waste of time. Walk away.
I agree. This review is a waste of time.
Before you get hurt.
Yeah, my brain cells are getting hurt.
By Keanu Reeves
Okay,
in
what are
his
you paying?
usual gruff Zen monotone, the character has a tortured backstory. Returning director Jeff Fowler lays it out through soapy flashbacks that supply Shadow with a formative, motivating, even vaguely Wiccan loss. If that's...
Get it? Because John Wick. Wiccan. The fuck? Wiccan. You know, I love John Wick movies. I really do. But I'm so sick of, like, anytime there's anything revenge, I do it too. I shouldn't even talk. But usually when I'm doing it, it's in some reaction video where I'm not writing shit down. You know what I mean? I'm not like, ooh, I'm going to script all my reactions or reviews out. Anytime there's anything revenge or something dark happening and someone's brooding, especially when Keanu Reeves is involved, it's like, it's John Wick, right? John Wick invented revenge movies.
Seems like an overly serious direction for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie to take.
That's Shadow, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
When did that spiky...
Dude, fucking Maria gets shotgun murdered.
Haired finger wagging...
Not shotgun. I always say it's a shotgun. I make it work. She gets torpedoed, bro. She gets a missile launcher right to the face.
Serious direction for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie to take. Since when did that spiky-haired, finger-wagging mascot have to deliver a monologue about grief and revenge?
Why is that bad? Like, what? Like, who cares? Like, if it's fine, then, like, if it's well done. Is it not well done? All right, let's hear it.
Trust that a little melodrama is preferable to the trend-chasing flossing jokes that marked his big screen debut.
Whatever. He flossed for fucking 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. Here we go. He flosses for...
A Sonic 1, a Big Tank 0.
That's like it. He flossed once, and everybody... Fuck, he flossed. It ruined the whole movie for me.
Which this third movie inches further away from the...
Astrobot flosses and fuck... I guess... Take that Game of the Year away from him. That motherfucker flossed.
Unsolicited hop redo of the original.
Okay, I guess I forgot he flossed in a second.
To the geeky adventure plotting of a Saturday.
Wait, hold on, let me go back.
A Big Tank 0.
Speaking of which, this third movie inches further away from the unsolicited hop redo of the original, and closer to the geeky adventure plotting.
Oh, Hop the movie. Okay, sure, I guess Hop redo. Hop was dog shit though, so or rabbit shit. No, it was dog shit.
Of a Saturday morning cartoon. A much better fit for the character, and not just because Sonic and friends have raced across that landscape before. Seeing the little guy really run, as in a pleasingly animated early chase down the streets and up the skyscrapers of Tokyo, is a
you mean like all the other movies?
reminder that kinetic eye candy is what defines the best Sonic games. Part 3 also has more conceptual imagination than its predecessors. It lightly riffs on Moonraker and Mission Impossible, kaiju movies,
Moonraker, okay.
And anime.
I guess because there's gonna be a moon. I'm sure Jim Carrey like improvised some Moonraker reference.
It lightly riffs on Moonraker and Mission
That's a James Bond movie for people that don't know.
Impossible, kaiju movies, and anime.
Yeah, you can kind of see that with especially the Chow Garden. They could probably have a kaiju joke here.
The dialogue is a less heartening mix of quips, life lessons, and breathy declarations of conflict, like,
"This ends now."
You couldn't pick a better line than that.
At its current rate of unlikely improvement, the Sonic series should turn out a Toy Story 2 grade masterpiece in, maybe 5 years. For now, it's nice to
So in 2 movies?
report that these movies are finding their footing as kid-courting blockbusters that won't totally insult kids' intelligence or leave their parents yearning.
This is a really... Like, at least he's talking about the movie now, but this is such a... You watch the movie, you weren't paying attention, and you have to do the review, and you just don't give a shit. Kind of like... This is like... This really is like Cliff Notes the review. Like, it's just like, you're not getting, like, I didn't even get it. He talked about Jim Carrey for half of it. Didn't hear almost anything about fucking Shadow's storyline, which is a huge part of this movie, or Keanu Reeves' performance. He's like, Keanu Reeves doing the gruff voice. Yeah, he's mellow and stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is there anything else there? Like, about Shadow? He's edgy. Yeah, we know he's fucking edgy. Everybody knows Shadow's edgy. His name's Shadow.
The fastest exit possible. If there's a common ground to unite...
Like, I get, like, people will say, well, this stuff is stupid or whatever, but it takes time and effort to make these movies. You can talk about them a little bit more than just, like, It's goofy and dumb and whatever, and Jim Carrey's goofy and dumb, but I like that goofy and dumb thing. So that's
demographics. It's probably a shared appreciation for the film's comic ringer, who's as much a cartoon as our wide-eyed and, per internet demand, dentally appealing hero.
Yeah, internet demand. They were right to demand Sonic to look like Sonic and not wherever this fucking crazed Furby bitch on the right is.
Like, as far as one-man buddy comedy,
you know, I like Sonic, Ugly Sonic now because that fucking Chip and Dale. Which, by the way, I think that was that the Lonely Island guys that did that? Didn't they work on that in some way?
Is what you could call a case of success.
And they also did. I want to say Jorma Taccone. Didn't he direct an episode of Knuckles? I want to say he did that Flames of Disaster episode.
Successful sequel arithmetic. Double the carry, double the fun.
This is a very hollow review.
They may have started on the wrong foot, but the Sonic the Hedgehog movies appear to be getting better as they go, pushing further past the dopey buddy comedy of the original and the tiresome pop culture references of its mark.
There wasn't even that many fucking pop culture references. I hate that too, and I was just like, and there's times where it happens in Sonic 1 and 2. I'm just like, all right, come on. But like to make it sound like that's all it is ridiculous. There's not that many. If anything, there's like maybe all together like 5 minutes of that humor. I mean, they're 2-hour movies. Like, I don't know.
Originally better sequel.
Okay, this is not going well.
The second one's definitely better. There's no doubt about it.
Channing Tatum makes it look so easy.
This third...
Oh, he referenced Channing Tatum. Uh-oh, I'm going to hang myself in the theater.
...installment offers much more pleasing CGI, blessedly fewer human foibles, and a kind of tortured Negasonic in Shadow.
He barely fucking talked about Shadow at all. He's like the biggest draw for this movie. He barely talked about him. I get that he really likes Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey also. But also, alright, if you're going to talk, if Jim Carrey's your biggest highlight, talk about him a little bit more. Talk about just like anything about his character. You didn't say a fucking thing of substance. Say anything besides like, when he's on the screen, he does funny things and does faces. Like, I get that's probably a lot of what he does, but like, at least talk about something. Like, how good is his chemistry with himself? Like, I get like, he said like, both of them are great. But like, anything of substance besides like, they're just great. You know what I mean? This is like the most Rotten Tomatoes, I only look at the fucking score review I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, people don't look at the content or see why people like it. They just look at the score and then they move on and say, well, they loved it. They loved everything about it, or they hated it. They gave it a 12%. Everybody hated it. You know what I mean? Like, at least read some of it. Like, at least describe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no substance here. This is why no one watches IGN reviews, because what's the point? You might as well just look at the review. And maybe that's why they do it like this. Because this is such a, like, you probably wrote this in 30 minutes. There's no way in hell... It tops too. There's no way in hell. Like, it's just disappointing. IGN's like one of the biggest reviewing sites out there, I guess, and of course they get clowned on, but still. And this is just bad. That's like,
favorite anti-hero voiced by Keanu Reeves. The real draw, however, is Jim Carrey.
He's just saying stuff about the movie that everybody already knows. Shadow's edgy. Keanu Reeves voices Shadow. Shadow has a tragic past. Jim Carrey's in it. There's 2 of them. He's funny. He makes faces. Sonic's in it. The other movies had humans in it. This one has less humans in it. You know, that one at least like described a little bit. And like even like the quick mentions of like what James Marsden's character is like. There's like just real quick references. We didn't talk about like any of the like banter back and forth between Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, and like I don't know. It's a
supposed retirement to deliver a dual villain performance that doubles all the exaggerated comic pleasures of his ongoing turn as Dr. Robotnik.
What'd they give Craven? I think they gave it a really bad review. What'd they give Mufasa?
For movie reviews, check out what we thought of Mufasa the Lion King and Craven the Hunter.
I want to see what they thought of Mufasa, because that looks soulless to me, but whatever. Oh my god. 0?
Sharp. Especially when bolstered by the delightful voice work of Aaron.
I mean, I haven't.
And Kelvin.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen it yet, so who knows? I'm not watching that review. I know I literally just said people only don't watch reviews and stuff, but like to be honest, I don't give a fuck what they have to say about Mufasa. So I didn't even do a Rotten Tomatoes first reviews for that. I don't care. I know it's like a 60% or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes, which I guess is technically better than the remake, but Barry Jenkins should not have wasted his time there. He could have made so many great movies with that budget. Fuck. Why Barry Jenkins? Like, why? Like, you look at the movie and you're like, I don't see Barry Jenkins at all. The guy that directed Moonlight, a fantastic director, directing that? Like, really? That's like if he directed this. Well, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm excited for some more Sonic stuff, but like, that's just not. Like, Jeff Fowler makes sense. He worked on Shadow of the Hedgehog, the game. You know, he obviously has some love for these characters and stuff. You could tell. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's really annoying. I'll just say that reviews like this are the I don't know. It took 2 minutes before the review even started, and all he said was just like, Jim Carrey was good in the other ones, and Jim Carrey's good in this, except there's 2 Jim Carreys. All right, review started. I'm like, fucking 2 minutes in. What do you mean review started? That should have been in the first 20 seconds of the review. That intro should have been 20 seconds long, not 2 minutes. Whatever. Anyway, I guess I hold IGN to a higher standard for some reason, but like they've been around for a long time. I don't think people realize that IGN's been around for almost like 30 years. Like what would they start in like 96 or some shit like that? All right, hold on. When was IGN founded? Let's see. 96. I nailed that. Damn. So, I don't know. Like, I for them to, like, look, they have almost 19 million subscribers. I don't know. Like, even the narration, the audio quality is not the best. And, like, no offense to the narrator, but it's very slow narration. You know, I think most people could get through this in 5 minutes. And it took 7 minutes to narrate because it's very slow, and you know it felt almost like padding. Like A.A. Dowd had nothing to say about the movie of substance because he probably didn't pay attention or give a shit. You know, he's like, oh, here's another fucking review. Here's the 8th one I have to do today or some shit. Like I don't know. How long was the Mufasa review? I might have to watch that just on principle. Oh, Chris Stuckman. Oh yeah, there you go. Chris Stuckman actually talked about this movie, so that means he likes it. So there you go. That's good. He reviewed it. That's a good way to just not want to watch a Chris Stuckman review anymore. If he makes a video, that means he liked it, right? That's his new rule, right? He can't talk about bad movies anymore. He's not allowed to, even though that's what he did for a big chunk of his career. But we're gonna forget that, I guess. Anyway, he makes movies now, so I know how hard it is to make movies. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how hard it is. They got paid, and if they made some dog shit, then guess what? Fuck you. I'm gonna tell you it's dog shit. What? What a stupid fucking reasoning. You just don't want to burn bridges. That's all it is. It's so lame, so cowardly. Anyway, there you go. That's it. I guess fuck Chris Stuckman and IGN. I don't mind Chris Stuckman that much. It was just very disappointing to see that because. Like, oh, I just want to talk about positives in movies. Okay, cool. Don't make any videos then. Why'd you have to make a video talk about like like acting like he's like above everybody else? Like I just don't want to talk about the bad in movies. I'm like, you had your hilariosity reviews where all you did was say how bad everything was. I don't even hear it. It's. I'm a changed person. Bitch, you did one like a year earlier. No, don't tell me you're changed that much. No, you made a movie and they're like, I don't want people talking bad about my movies, so let me not talk bad about our movies. Maybe other filmmakers will watch my movies and they'll say, hey, I like that you said positive things about my previous movies, so I like your movie now. What the fuck? It's so lame. Anyway, that's it. It's just lame. It's so disappointing to see that. Shout out to Jeremy Johns. He don't give a fuck. Anyway, that's as of now. Who knows? Anyway, that's it. Bye.